One Fight Night 32 takes place live this Saturday morning at 3 a.m. South African time. The weight nation test literally just took place. Lots of drama to unpack. We're going to do it all next in Fighting with Friends. Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Fighting with Friends. It's your boy, Brother Gaia, reacting or breaking down some of the drama that took place at the One Fight Night 32 weigh-ins and hydration. As always, like I said earlier in the week, I will kind of reserve how I feel about this fight card once the hydrations and the weigh-ins take place, because that's usually when we get to see what's gonna happen. Like in terms of how the fights are gonna take place, what impacts the fighters in terms of how they make their weight cut and the hydration. So, as always, we'll unpack it, starting with the top of the card. The headline, the new headline, obviously, if you know, Alicia Rodriguez versus Sherkowan was unfortunately pulled from the card due to injury. So we have Nakarov versus Charcia as the main event. And within there, in the weight and hydration tests, Nakarov passed weight and hydration on his first attempt, no problems. Looks really phenomenal, filled out nicely. Didn't even look burnt or anything like that in terms of when he was on the scale. Usually fighters, when they have a difficult weight cut or hydration, they look depleted, they look finished. But Nakrab did it with ease. He was able to make hydration and make weight fairly easily. Zhao Surai, his opponent, on the other hand, took 2 attempts to successfully make hydration and weight. On his first attempt, he unfortunately missed hydration. Looks really full, by the way. I was like, hey, this guy looks a little jacked to fly away there. But he made the weight, he made the hydration, and now the main event is successfully and officially on the cards. So nothing to be implicated there. So we're definitely going to look forward to that big matchup. I'm not going to do any previews because the preview is out on YouTube, where you can go check it out. I just wanted to react to the weigh-ins and hydration because that's a very important part of the fight game. Right, then we're gonna move on to the new co-main event. Super hyped for this co-main event, by the way. Alif Sodechapan, he's taken on Ahmedi Al-Jamari. Alif also, just like Nakrov, was able to make weight and hydration on his first attempt. Had no difficulty. He was even laughing when he was on the scale, like he was having such a good time. And I'm happy to see that the athletes are looking a lot more happier, especially Alif. I mean, the dude's coming into this one. He knows the opportunity is quite massive. So I think with making weight that easily, I think if he gets a job done here, he's going to put himself in the argument for potentially fighting against Plajan Chai. Almedi Al-Jamari, it took him 3 attempts to successfully pass hydration and make weight. The first few times in all 3 occasions, the first 2 occasions he missed his weight, missed hydration, but he passed hydration, but he didn't make the weight. Yeah, that's what was happening, which is quite surprising. But I mean, he's a lot more muscle bound than Alif, so he's obviously carrying a heavier body structure. But then on his 3rd attempt, he came back onto the scale, passed hydration fairly easily, and then this time making weight. And there was quite a bit of celebration on the scale from the Al-Jamari team. So super stoked that he did it. I was a bit gutted when I saw the first 2 failed attempts. I was like, oh, don't make this be a catch weight. This is going to be boring. Not even boring, it's going to be disappointing. The fight's still going to be amazing. But then when he made the weight on the 3rd attempt and hydration, I was like, yes, now the fight is actually going to have, nothing that's going to have an asterisk next to it. It's going to be a fight that is everything, all guns blazing, all cylinders are going to be firing. And I'm pretty sure that this co-main event is going to be a killer of a co-main event. Right, then we're going to move on to the 3rd fight of the night, or the 3rd fight from top. This was a little bit disappointing, if I'm being honest. Yohan Ghazali, he didn't have any disappointments. He was able to make weight and pass hydration on his first attempt. No struggles, even had the shades on, looking all kinds of cool, looking fired up for this event. And I'm for this fight. So I'm quite happy that he's able to successfully do that, because I think this is a definite star within the Ghazali camp. Especially if you consider who's training him, right? He's got 3 champions that are training him. So I'm quite stoked. Then Diego Paez, this is where the disappointment comes in, right? He failed hydration, and made weight on all 3 of his attempts in doing so. Just a reminder, these athletes are given a total of 3 hours to do their weight and hydration. Diego Paez used that entire 3 hours and unfortunately didn't make the hydration, but made weight. And even in his weight cut, he was struggling pretty badly. If I'm not mistaken, I think the 3rd attempt no, he did make weight in the third attempt as well, but just failed hydration, which now is resulting in a catch weight for the bout, no longer going to be at flyweight, as you can see on screen. It's a little bit gutted to be honest with you. I want to see these guys make their ways, especially Diego Pais coming into the organization as a four belt holder. You know what I mean? Being a champion four times in different organizations. It's like you're a champion. You know what I mean? You can't expect a little bit more professionalism coming out of him, especially considering that he's also a big time coach. As I've been noticing on Instagram, he's also coaching quite a number of athletes. Got a good gym, and I mean, he sounds really good. And yeah, I think I was just like, that sucks to see that, but hopefully they can get to a nice catchweight negotiations. Like I said, I'm recording this literally as the hydration test had ended, so I'm not too sure what the negotiations are going to look like. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a catchweight bout at the time of release of this content. But okay, unfortunately, it's going to leave a little bit of a sour taste for the fight. But I hope that both guys still show up and put on a good performance. Just yeah, don't really have a positive thing to say about the weight, about the failing to make weight and hydration. It's not a good thing you want to see, because it's a very big and important thing, part of the fight game. But okay, we'll move on. I'm pretty sure they're still going to put on a good performance for us. Then we're going to move down to, I think this is high chance of being one of the most exciting fights on the fight card. We have, how did I just lose that now? Oh, there we go. So yeah, we have Yawan Estupinan taking on Taiki Naito, and I'm super hyped for this one. Naito, obviously, he made hydration and he made his weight on his first attempt. He didn't look like he was struggling one bit. He even looked really revved up when he was on the scale. Like I said, most of his athletes looked really jaded when you put them on the scale during their weight cut, but Naito looked like flawlessly. So super hyped for that one. And then Yawan Estupinan, he took him 2 attempts to make hydration and weight. He failed hydration on his first attempt, made weight, and then the second attempt he passed hydration and passed weight, and then ended up doing a little bit of a dance with his twin brother Jordan behind stage. We didn't really see it on camera, but if you go check out Nick Atkins' X account, he's got all the footage for you live right now on his X account. You can kind of see them doing the dance, celebrating the fact that the fight is official and both athletes are able to make weight and hydration. And just for that, I'm pretty sure that these guys are going to put on an absolute show. Might even steal the show if you think about it, considering that the fights above them are have athletes that are always, putting on showstoppers. I think this particular fight's definitely going to have showstopper written all over it. All right, let me keep it moving. Ibragim Dauev taking on Magomed Akaev. Featherweight MMA. Unfortunately, it's not going to be featherweight MMA. Ibrahim took him 3 attempts to only fail. Unfortunately, he failed hydration all 3 times, and then on his last attempt, he also missed weight, even though he was making weight in the first 2 attempts. I think when they failed hydration, I think he probably wanted to replenish some of that electrolytes in some of that water, make up for the hydration, but then resulting in making him gain more weight on the day, and that's why he missed the weight as well. 3 attempts unsuccessful. Magomed Akaev, he passed hydration, makes weight, but it took him 2 attempts to do so. Unfortunately, now they're gonna have to negotiate a catchweight bout. Let's see that they are successfully in doing so. Last thing I want to see is a fight get pulled from the card because they can't agree to a negotiation, or maybe Ibrahim is just way too depleted, right? I mean, he looked really flat. His head's all in his hands. He looked like he was really struggling to make that weight and to retain some of the water to have a successful hydration pass. But yeah, fingers crossed that the fight doesn't get pulled. I hope that they successfully agree to a nice catchweight bout, and then we can keep them on the fight card, because I do think it will be a bit of an explosive matchup. Hopefully, even though they struggled, both guys did have to take more than 1 attempt to get to some point in terms of their weight and hydration. But okay, we move on. Ricardo Bravo versus Ariana Esparza. Both guys on their first attempt made hydration, made weight. There was no hassles there, so that's going to be a nice official bout. And I'm expecting a bit of a gunfight in this one, because that's just the style that both these guys put on. So that's going to be quite a brawl back and forth there. So I'm looking forward to it, especially because both guys had no issues making weight and hydration. Right. Then we'll move down the card. Second fight from the bottom. Nicholas Vignia passed hydration and made weight on his first attempt. Very successful. Looks nice and tall. Again, in my preview, I didn't hype up the card too much. Hype up this fight too much just because of the. I think there's a mismatch in terms of athletes and where they are at in their career right now. I think Dzhabir is definitely climbing the rankings. You know, he's younger, he's undefeated, he wants to prove a point, very aggressive. Whereas Nicholas Vignes, 35 years old, probably only has another year or two before he hangs up the gloves. But Dzhabir, he passed hydration and missed weight on his first attempt, and then on his second attempt, he passed hydration again and missed weight once again. This is now resulting that the two athletes are going to negotiate like the other fights for a catchweight bout, and I hope that they also keep this one on the card. Last thing you want to have is a fight card only of like potentially 6 fights, right? So let's see what happens here. I don't think the result's going to change in terms of my prediction. I still think that Dzhabir is going to win the fight. But okay, let this be a lesson to the young lad to successfully get that fight. Because he also looked pretty big on the scale. He looked like he was packing quite a bit of muscle. So let's see that he can correct that in the future. He's gonna have to as well, considering that I think that he's got the talent to become a champion, but he's gonna have to really fix this weight hydration situation. And then on the opening part of the night, which was a filler fight, fight that got put into the card very late. Dzhabir Khalilov, he passed hydration, made weight on his first attempt, looked very happy that he was able to do so as well, considering that in the past he was unsuccessful a few times. But I'm happy to see that he made the weight, so super hyped that he's able to do so. Unfortunately, this fight's going to be at catchweight, which is quite surprising to see so. Oh, yes, no, excuse me. It's not going to be at catchweight because I don't think they updated the website just yet. But Dzhabir Khalilov and Liao Shishu both made weight and hydration on their first attempt. Was quite successful, so I think that fight's not going to be at catchweight. I think they are actually going to fight at bantamweight, if I'm not mistaken. I just double check that one again. It was a late replacement fight, so yeah, that's pretty much how the weight and hydration took place. Like I said, a couple of catchweight fights there, but I hope none of the fights get pulled from the card. I do think that the top 5 fights are going to be extremely exciting to watch. So let's stay tuned for that. Like I said, you'll catch me live as well as the One Championship live this Saturday at 3 a.m. South African time. Stay tuned. The links will be up in the description. And I look forward to seeing you all there. Let me know your thoughts about what you think about these fighters in terms of how they did their weight and hydration, where you stand on it. Give me your thought on the policy. And as well, looking forward to hearing your predictions in the comments. On that note, stay safe, stay blessed, have a good one. Catch you on the next one. Cheers.